Hey everybody, Jason here with Reardon Kayaking. On today's episode, guys, we're finally putting shoes on this trailer. That's right. We got the hubs installed, the new tires with those custom paint job you guys saw in last week's episode 3, along with the new fenders we're going to install here for this kayak fishing trailer we're doing here on this build series. Now, we're doing this particular trailer, guys, for the Bonafide RVR 119. And if you're not familiar with that particular kayak or the build series I did, I'll stick a thumbnail up right here for you. That build series was a lot of fun. We did a lot of custom DIY stuff, modifications to that kayak that you guys could apply to your own kayak. So take a minute and check it out. But on today's video, like I said, we're going to be installing this new hub set. We'll be packing the thing with grease, getting everything ready to actually install here on the axle. So you guys will see a step-by-step on how that's done, along with putting the tires onto the trailer and setting that into place and installing the new fenders. So sit back and let's get into the build. Okay guys, you still got everything laid out here. Got the hub assembly here. Again, we're going to move up from a 4 lug to a 5 lug. So I've got the lugs as well on there and the new bearings. And these are 1 1/16 bearings. This is a whole assembly kit. Came with this inner seal along with the bearings and the hub assembly itself. Now I'm going to go from the dust cap. I'm going to upgrade it to these bearing buddies I picked up off Amazon. I'll be sure to link all this below. This is a whole assembly kit. Came with both of the hubs and the bearings. And then a new set of cotter pins there. Then I picked up a can of this grease. This is that waterproof green grease that you guys use for most of your trailers, anything that's going to be subjected to water. And so we'll take that and we'll actually pack in these bearings here in just a moment. And then we'll add the remainder into this grease gun. And then we'll pack the complete hub assembly up full of grease once we're done. Okay guys, once again, I've got this grease. We're going to pop open the cap here. And then what we'll do is just kind of spoon out some with our gloves and pack in the grease to the bearings themselves. We'll get that done. Kind of lay it over here in the palm of your hand and then just kind of smush it into the bearing itself. Get it nice and packed in. Filling it up all the way in to the bearing. More here. That should be pretty good. And we'll just repeat the process for the other 4, or excuse me, the other 3. Those laid out over here. Grab us some more grease. And we'll kind of skip through this here for you. And we'll wrap up this last one here. And take up our excess and scrape it back into the tube. And we'll load it into the actual grease gun here. Okay guys, so we'll take now the hub assembly, and on the rear here of the hub assembly we'll put in this first bearing. Again, these are the 1 1/16. So we'll seat that in there. And we'll put our seal in here. Give it a few little love taps. Okay. And we'll seat the other one. That just rests right inside there. It's got a tapered shape to allow that bearing to sit right in. There we go. Okay guys, so we've got the hub assembly over here. We're getting ready to install it on the actual axle. And as I mentioned, these things are tapered right here on the inside. So we'll take our bearing. And that's just going to seat right down inside there. And then we'll slip this onto the actual axle. We'll slide this on here. Again, set that bearing up inside that tapered area. Put your washer on here, then your castle nut, and then what you're going to do is run this all the way down. And once it's ran all the way down, you can use your metric or your standard adjustable wrench. Some will get that joke, some will not. Just tighten the crown nut down. And what that's going to do is help seat that bearing inside that on that axle. So it's good and tight here. Now we're going to back it off to get the cowsel nut to line up with the hole here for the cotter pin. I want to make sure this is turning. You can see here. And you can back it off until you feel like it's in the right location. That's a little more free spinning, so we'll leave it there. Then we take our cotter pin here, and just slip it through. Then we use just a needle nose. And just bend that cotter up, and the other one opposite direction. And usually what I'll do is I'll take and just use my just a hammer, mallet here in this case. We'll hold that cotter pin, keep it from moving here while we tap this cotter pin up flat. Repeat the same on the bottom end. All right, so then what you'll do is you'll put your grease cap here on the end. But what I've done is pick up these bearing buddies. Again, I'll link everything at the bottom of the video. And just want to pop off the cap. Once you get that cap off, you want to take and seat it up here. What I'll use is a block of wood. Keep that nice and flat to the actual hub. And then we'll take a mallet and we'll just knot that. Trying to get that where you guys can see it. And once we get it sitting there, we'll take a rubber mallet. This is a 4-pounder I've got laying around the house here. And we'll just... Okay, now as we got the bearing buddy on there, as you can see, it's a little bit of a trick to get that to go on there. I had to get the assistance of my lovely wife to come out here and hold the trailer because it wanted to bounce, because again, this thing is completely empty, has no weight to it. Anyway, we'll get this grease now. Again, this is that green grease designed for any of your stuff you're going to use. It's going to be subjected to water. And the way these bearing buddies work is there's actually a hole right here that once this thing is filled, it'll start to squirt out the side here. So let's get this thing topped off. Cue snowflake. You can see it here, we got it coming out. We're good and full. We'll pop this off here. Wipe off that excess. All right, now we got that topped off. We'll take the cap, put it back over the end here of the bearing buddy, and then we'll repeat the process on the other side. Okay, guys, we're getting ready to do next is actually install these fenders. These fenders I actually picked up over at the dealership over in the next county over. They're really inexpensive. They were like, I think maybe, I don't know, $16 or $18 a piece. But they're actually designed for this Triton trailer. And if you guys don't remember from the first episode, we actually had to remove what was left here of the brackets and so forth that was holding the little pieces that was left for the actual original, I guess it was original fenders that were on this trailer. You know, this was actually designed for a jet ski originally. We're converting it over for the kayak. But anyway, was able to source those, so I was pretty pleased with that. And in doing so, decided to go back with a little different hardware. So I picked up these are 3/8 by 16. These are 7/8 inch long button head bolts we're going to use. And then with that, we're going to use these nylon locking nuts. Again, 3/8 by 16. So we'll use those. And then the way this is going to bolt on, that bolt's going to be, and that nut's going to be right up against that plastic. So I picked up some washers and kind of drilled them out. Couldn't find any specifically, or at least without paying an arm and a leg for the 3/8 inch bolts we're using here. So I had these laying around from a different project. So I just drilled them out to a 3/8 inch hole there in the center. And that'll just kind of give a little bit of extra cushion. That way the nut being pressed against that plaque, hopefully have a little bit of a flex and hopefully not crack out the fenders once we get them installed. All right, let's go ahead and get these put on here. Put that first one on that side, one in over here, hopefully. Yep. That way it'll sit up there while we're getting everything installed here. So again, we're going to take and just put this washer up against this fender where it mounts on here. And we'll go ahead and just repeat that process, put all of them on there. All right. And these are having Allen head on them. And it actually came with the Allen wrench, so I was pretty surprised with that. Again, I'm sure some cheap steel that I picked up there off Amazon, but it'll work for this project. It says it's stainless, we'll see. But anyway, I'm just going to take and just kind of draw it down snug initially, and then I'll do a hand tighten here. Don't want to over tighten on this plastic. And it helps turn the drill the right direction. What was that? Right, tight, left? You guys know. All right. And again, just not to snug it down too much. Just going to use a ratcheted wrench here, and we'll just snug it the rest of the way. All right, we'll repeat the process here on this side. And fingers crossed this side lines up as well as the other side lined up. Again, just kind of eyeballing these plates or brackets here to hold these fenders on, hoping everything's exactly in the square position that works with these fenders. There we go. I guess I eyeballed it pretty well. I know it's getting a little dark, guys, so I apologize. Kind of just speed through this. Ran out of daylight again today trying to film this. Maybe I can try to lighten it up in post. We'll see. All right, we'll tighten them down right quick and call it a night. Okay guys, just want to give you a little bit better view of the actual fenders once they were installed here. You can see what I was talking about on the inside now that's daylight, adding those rubber washers with those nylon nuts, just to kind of keep that plastic protected how these are mounted here on these fenders. You'll also note, if I can get out of my shadow, I added a custom RVR decal I designed just to kind of dress it up. So we'll take a minute here and go and get the tires installed. Okay, so let's set the tire here up on the actual hub. I think I'm digging that, guys. Now, we're going to install these lugs. These are just your standard 13th, 16th lugs. Now, they are tapered. Please, if you're not familiar how the lugs work for your rims, there's a tapered side. That tapered side goes to the inside of the rim. All right, so we're going to get these lugs and started up here on the hubs here, on the studs. Here comes Snowflake. We'll see how curious he is. Anyway, we'll take the impact here and go ahead and start and draw these down. Again, remember to go into a star pattern shape when you're putting on tires on a trailer or any other vehicle. And we'll take and hand torque these down. I may have to drop the trailer to get this torqued really well. We'll see here. All right, we'll tighten it down a little bit better once we actually drop the trailer down on the ground, but we'll go ahead and get the other side. Again, setting our tire rip up here on the hub, or the studs of the hub. Go ahead and hand torque these down as much as we can while sitting up in the air. All right, we'll drop the trailer down, go ahead and tighten the tires down the rest of the way. And we'll repeat the process on the other side. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, I was super pumped to finally get the shoes put on this trailer. It's been a long time coming. Not gonna lie, I was really intimidated to put the hubs on this axle. Never done that before. Did a little bit of YouTube University research. Also went over to one of my oldest and dearest friends, Adam. Adam, thanks again for that input to get this thing installed properly. So I hope you guys took something away from this video that'll be helpful for you all if you guys decide to either do some work on your hubs, on your trailers, whether it be your kayak trailer, your jet ski trailer, whatever it may be. And hopefully this right here will also give you some insight on ways of not only installing stuff properly, but also give you some input on just how to do it in a way that may be a little bit easier for, you know, average Joe like myself. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys taking time to watch the video today. If you would do me a favor, hit the old like button. That really helps a lot. And also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, drop me a subscription down below. I do try to put out content weekly. Most of the time I shoot for Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes things get delayed. You know, this particular build series here, I'm doing it outside. I'm also managing a family. So, you know, I'm at the discretion of good weather, a little bit of dad time to get out here and do this. This isn't like I'm doing it in my old yak shack like I normally do late at night. So we kind of have to take advantage. Today's video, we're shooting actually on my lunch break. So again, I think I'll have us out this Thursday for you also. Hope you'll enjoy it. But anyway, just want to thank you again for taking time to watch today's video. If you did enjoy today's content, do me a favor, share it with your friends and family out there on social media. Word of mouth goes a long ways. Drop me some comments below for some things I could have done a little different. Some stuff you guys would like to maybe see here on the channel. And as always, guys, get on the water and make some memories.
Peace.